Hi everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk with Mariama, your channel of motivation, inspiration and positive vibes. Last night I was just going through the comments of the past videos and all that, and I saw that one of you actually asked how I met my husband, and I just realized I actually never talked about that. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that. I met my husband on an air flight, and specifically Air France. Hey, shout out to you all. So I used to travel a lot with Air France when I was at the university in Cuba every 2 years. So my very first year of traveling, I was with my friend, of course, my sister, and my partner in crime, Panda. How are you? Pena and I were on the road, and we were very stranded young people, I have to tell you all. And for some reason we like, how do we even used to afford Air France? I don't know. But anyways, we used to fly with Air France because we loved Air France. Like from Havana to Paris was like about 9 hours flight or so, and the food was great. It had enough space, and I had just enjoyed, I have to be honest, I enjoyed all my flights with Air France then. And so we were traveling from Havana to the Gambia. So we had transit. So it was Havana, Paris, Paris, Dakar, and then Dakar, Gambia. This was our route every time we used to travel from Cuba to the Gambia. So then here I was in an airplane seated, and lady beside me, I think she was a Cuban lady, she was sitting beside me, and then I thought, yeah, okay, cool, another 9 hour flight. I just be sleeping and all that. Then this guy came on the plane, and I noticed him. I don't know, for some reason, or probably it's because he was watching the row where I was sitting at, and then he checked his ticket, and then checked the seat number, and then checked again, and then he said to the lady, excuse me, this is my seat. And then the lady checked hers and realized, oh, she was supposed to sit on the next seat right in front of him. Then she said, oh, she was sorry, and then she moved to her seat. So he came, and then he sat beside me, and then we exchanged hello highs, and you know, he settled in and all, and then we just kicked off at that very moment, as in, hey, how are you and all that. Were you on vacation? Or I'm like, yeah, I'm on vacation, but I was not on vacation in Cuba. I'm studying in Cuba. And then he's like, oh, and then he got interested, and we talk about the school system, my experience in Cuba, and his 4 weeks experience in Cuba, because he was traveling through from Havana to Santiago de Cuba and all that. So he he's a very open person, so he had met so many Cubans. He was just not in a hotel, so he had a different experience, and it was great to hear someone else share that part of their experience. And so we talked for like hours, people. And it was funny because when he asked where I was from, and I said the Gambia, he said, the Gambia, I've traveled a lot, but the Gambia, he never heard of it. I couldn't stop laughing, because I think until today, most people that I've met and asked me where I originally come from do not know where Gambia is. Only few people, and they would probably say, I think I heard of it, but where exactly is it? Is it around Senegal, Nigeria, Ghana, kind of? I'm like, yeah, we're practically in Senegal like that. But yeah, like in Senegal like that. But yeah, anyways, I remembered trying to draw the African map and showing him where the Gambia was. You know, it was very funny. But anyways, we did that, talked about the Gambia, the culture, the land, and the people, and all that. And he also explained a bit about Switzerland. And then dinner came. Dinner was great. We continued talking, and eventually it was late, and people were already sleeping and quiet. Then we watched Madagascar together. I remember, I think that was the first Madagascar movie, and we watched it together. And then we spoke the whole flight. people, 9 hours long, until we got to Paris, and then he changed his flight to Zurich, and we stayed at the airport, of course, transiting to Senegal. So that's how actually I met my husband. Yeah. Then after that, we never spoke about anything intimate. We just exchanged email addresses, and then it was more. Then it was Messenger, and then I remembered when I was in the Gambia, then he sent a message. I sent back a message, and as in how I was doing, and how was the Gambia and my family, and then we stopped at that. In Cuba, we used to have intranet, not internet, and so it was very difficult. Like maybe once a week or so on a weekend, we would go illegally, people, I have to tell you, by a Cuban lady's house, check our internets, right, and then communicate with our friends, and then that was it. So we couldn't keep up the communication like regularly. So we used to speak once in a while. That would be probably summers that I would go to the Gambia, or we would email once in a while. So it was not, the communication was not regular. I would have to say I had my boyfriend, he had his girlfriend, so it was even not like a thought in our heads. I have to be honest. Maybe it was there and we didn't realize it, but actively not. And 10 years later was when we actually decided to start a relationship, because then I didn't have a boyfriend and he didn't have a girlfriend, and we at some point we were communicating regularly when I came back home from Cuba, and we would like Skype for hours, and every day, like it was just a normal routine for me after work, coming back home, refreshing and spending time with my family, and then retreating to my room, as in talking with him the whole time. Then that's how we actually met. Then eventually he came to the Gambia. We spent some time together, and we spoke about our expectations and where this relationship was heading and all that. And this was our story. That's how everything else began, and then here we are today. So I hope this was interesting for you. But this story for me, every time I talk about it, it's quite interesting, because it was nothing that was ever planned, but I always believe it was meant to be, and here we are today. I hope you would ask more questions that I would answer, and I would share with you all. But this was it. Until next week, have a good time.